Well. Hello, everyone. There is a duality. There is a duality in all of us. A duality of perspective at every minute of every day. A duality in the way we all experience life and entrepreneurship. A tense duality with massive potential. Today, we will explore this duality. Wherever you are in your journey, greetings. I welcome you, the unique you, to today's wake-up call. I hope to provoke you to change your frame of reference just a little bit. Provoke you to engage with your reality a bit differently. After a 15-minute session, followed up by a Q&A, we will be joined by Soraya on the hot seat today. So let's begin. Last wake-up call, we explored an important fact of life and entrepreneurship. The fact is, what we expect is not necessarily what we get. Marriage, it's obvious how many percentage of them fail, but many thoughts goes into deciding on getting married. Kids, you expect them to be this and that, but they are who they are. In your business, you expect many things to happen, but often they don't happen the way you like it. Your employees don't work the same way, and hey, your boss may not be the smartest person or the kindest person. And of course, the customers change their perspective all the time. What we expect is not necessarily what we're going to get. Expectations are the architect of our entrepreneurship and leadership. Master them to shape your future, to turn expectations to impact, and to avoid disappointments, increase learning, and reduce failure. Manage expectations, starting with yours. Let me suggest a mindset shift. Expect things won't work. So you can explore options. Expect you don't know, so you can learn. Expect to be nervous because you're pushing the envelope, testing your limits. Expectations are rooted in our duality, what we're going to talk about today, the duality of life and our entrepreneurial journey. There's more than one perspective at any moment within all of us, a kind of duality. This duality is not a flaw, it's an engine of transformation, of growth, innovation, and evolution. You see, the self is not pure and unified. None of us are pure and unified. Opposites coexist, clash, and transform each of us and each other. The good and bad are contradictions to be are not contradictions to be eliminated. They are not to be eliminated. They are the very condition for growth. You see, contradictions are not problems. And problems are not interruptions to life and growth. Contradictions within us are expressions of human condition. And problems drive innovation and growth. As the contradictions within us, our emotions, and how we see the world, collides with the world, which is changing by itself and it has its own contradictions. Decisions are made and futures are built. So let's make this real. Let's look at a couple of examples. You always help people. You help everyone. You're a reliable person. But you see, you secretly resent it. And why is it that I'm always being dependent on? So if you say no, you can experience the duality. You know, innovation and speed are must-haves. But you also like building consensus, which delays things. Neither one is a bad thing, neither one is a good thing, but they are opposites. So you see, we have tensions, our impulses versus plans, self-interest versus the interest of others, desires versus reasons, all contradictions. Effective entrepreneurship is not about singularity of thought. It's about integration of dualities within us and in the context of the world we live in. The fact is, your authenticity begins to surface and shine when you recognize and master your duality. You see, courage without fear becomes recklessness. Risk without resilience and options is foolish. Contradictions create friction. Friction creates awareness. Awareness creates movement. And movement creates becoming, impact, and transformation. We, all of us, carry two voices that disagree at all times. One pulls us towards growth, the other towards protection. Uh, Transformation begins when we can hear both and harmonize them. Let's consider a bit of philosophical example. Consider an egg, a potential, kind of like you and your business. An egg, a distinct, seemingly unified thing. The egg has an internal contradiction. It includes oppositions. The yolk, which nourishes, and the white, which is a protective layer. They're opposing elements in tension. This tension can create life, or a wonderful omelet, or turn to smelly, rotten egg. Now, exposed to the right condition, say temperature, timing, we have life. That's when static is turned to active. The egg, you and your business, as an analogy, contain all the elements required for transformation, the contradictions and the opposite. But it is authenticity. But it's its authenticity that is only realized, that authenticity of that egg and on what it turns to in terms of life is only realized by breaking its own shell, by negating itself to create life, to create more and be better, to become something greater. The egg must be destroyed. The duality must be resolved. In terms of evolving, the same idea applies also to a butterfly. And and a caterpillar, how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly by going through multiple stages and becoming an entirely different species and leaving the species that it was behind. So you see, you see, grapes, grapes of all flavors increase in value when crushed and blended and turned into wine. Success is not the result of absence of negative emotions. It is the integration of it. Creativity does not magically show up when problems are absent. Problems are not an intrusion. They are the opportunity to create and evolve. Leaders, leaders who deny their duality become rigid. Leaders who integrate it become effective. You know, in fact, there are three versions of us simultaneously. The one we think we are, the one we are, and the one people see us as. As we resolve the dualities within and coordinate and harmonize them with the realities of the world, our three versions become unified, strong, and authentic. So, finally, let me leave you with something to think about before we get to the Q&A session. Your good impulses and your bad impulses are not enemies. Growth emerges from the interplay of the opposite. As entrepreneurs, what we nurture and grow, as entrepreneurs, what we nurture and grow in a world faced with contradictions is truly what helps us. And our ventures, our businesses, and our careers to transform and grow. So with that, let's go to the questions. Let me get myself situated. There we go. So, how do I recognize my dualities? How do I recognize my dualities? Here's an exercise. Here's an exercise. Write this on a piece of paper. A part of me wants to, and then fill the blank. Could be take more risks. I don't know. Speak up. Slow down. A part of me wants to, and fill the blank. And fill the blank. Let's call this the growth voice. Then write on the same piece of paper, but another part of me wants to. So the first part is a part of me wants to, and fill the blank. And then have something that you write down says, but another part of me wants to, I don't know, stay safe, avoid conflicts, keep control, whatever is the opposite. So one represents the growth, the change, the evolution, and the other, the protection. When you have those two, then put them aside, side by side, and ask some of these following questions. Something like, what does the growth voice really want? When I say I want to take more risk, is that for what purpose? So you're exploring that. What is the protection voice really wants? When I say, but the other side of me wants safety or wants, what does that mean? What does that mean? Is it because of my family? Is it because I don't have enough money in the bank? Is it because I'm afraid that I will fail? What is the protection voice talking about? What is the truth each one of them are holding, essentially? And what would I lose if one over the other win? What would I lose? So now that you have that, you could probably try to integrate them and say, how can both be honored? Are there options that can be created? How can both be present and addressed without one dominating the other? And is there a third way that the two are teaching me? So that's one way that you can recognize the duality. Now, if you practice that, then that becomes an integral part of the way you think and you create awareness. So you don't need to write them down. Uh, which duality has caused you the most pain in your own entrepreneurial journey? The most pain. Uh, how about see? I don't see things as pain. I see things as an opportunity to learn. At the moment, they look like pain. Um, I'll tell you something. I am absolutely horrible in in networking sessions when there are multiple people. Um, and in my mind, it seems like I'm selling myself, and why do I need to sell myself? And it's cheesy and salesy and all that. But at the same time, I know that without expressing, I will never be heard. It's if I believe that I have a good voice, unless I sing, I will never be heard. So that is one of those things, a duality that I'm always struggling with personally. And has it hurt me? Well, maybe. Maybe if I go back to our conversation of a couple of wake up call sessions ago, maybe I didn't get lucky because I didn't generously put myself in a position to interact. And if I didn't do that, then I may have missed opportunities. Is that an immediately felt pain? No. Could it be a pain? Yes. Is it an unknown pain that I don't know about? Probably. Um, so I hope that explains it. Is duality unavoidable? How can we make sure our duality helps our business? Uh, duality is not unavoidable. Duality is in us. It's a part of us. Uh, so it's not a matter of avoiding it. It's actually a matter of embracing it. Uh, as I mentioned, the bad is not bad. It's just an alternative view that it exists in us. Uh, for example, if if we just want to uh, risk um, recklessly uh, without having options, without having the resilience, without having thought through it, uh, one may say it's fear is bad, but fear is an alert system. So, uh, is safety bad? No, it's a protection element that we have in all of us. We all want to live well. We all want to be protected, but it may come into conflict with some of the decisions that we make. And but they both exist. So if we avoid the opposites, this duality, somewhere along the line is going to catch up with us. So how can we make sure our duality helps our business? Step one, by being aware that it exists. It's a human condition. It is not bad. It is not bad. It's not bad. It's not stupid to have fear. It's normal. It's human. And if you realize that you have these fears, and you can box them, and you can paint them, and you can name them, that's when you can deal with it. But if we hide them, shove them under the rug, as they say, they're going to show up somewhere. And when they show up, we're unprepared for them. So it's not to avoid duality, because they're unavoidable. They exist within all of us. They exist within every condition. As I said, every egg has a yolk and a white stuff that represent a duality. The choice of if that egg becomes life and it prevails, or it stays an egg and becomes an omelet, or it rots, is how do we deal with, what conditions do we create in order for it to grow? So I hope that answers it. What do you mean contradictions in entrepreneurship? Should we remove contradictions as much as possible? Again, contradictions again exist. Um, Contradictions exist. They're not to be removed. They are being to recognized and addressed. Um, if you're starting a business and you're very optimistic about what it would do, and you've created a product that you think it's great, and you think, oh, the people would love this product, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And you don't look at the opposite side that, hey, it may not work. Um, People may not like it. What happens is you've ignored the contradictions that in reality exist. If you ignore the fact that, hey, you have X number of dollars in your bank account and you have a kid and it needs to be fed milk and cookies, and you ignore that, at some point it creates additional stress and additional confusion. It impacts the decisions that are made. Those are realities of how we feel. Those are contradictions that exist within us and also in the reality of the world. Now, the question is, how do we deal with it? How do we address it? But the first phase, as I said a minute ago, it's not to deny them, it's to recognize them and be aware of them. So let's look at the next question, because I think we can provide a little more context. The next question is, can you give us a real life example of a founder conflict and how was it resolved? Let me use an example that that came up during a hot seat of a few weeks ago. The entrepreneur, a young lady, had certain experiences in her own life and had built a business, or was trying to build a business around this idea that there are a lot of people, a good portion of the population, that don't get the opportunities to grow because they don't know how. A group of the society that live in certain places don't have access, or they don't know what they can do in terms of getting loans, in terms of getting access to grants, in terms of education, in terms of all of that. Um, and and she was building something, an app and then a community to address this for a significant number of people. It's a real pain. And she had experienced that, and she was able to get herself out of that mode uh, of dependency and cycle of failure, and just pulled herself out with this idea that there is a vision, there is a place to go, there is opportunities. And she wanted to, as a mission, provide the same thing to others. Wonderful vision. But she's been struggling raising money for this venture. And she was also concerned that, hey, if I bring others in, I may compromise my mission. This is my mission, help people do this and that and that and that. And if I get somebody coming in with some investments, then then my mission is at risk because they want to make money. And in order to avoid that, or to this is a duality. This is a mission. I believe that I want to protect the mission. And then on the other side, there is a reality, a duality of investors make money to make money, to make investments to make money. They don't make investments. So this conflict, and she says, "Oh, I need money to do this, but in order to do this, I have to have people who basically are believing in this. And by the way, I don't trust them that they say I believe, and then when they come in, they may confuse or contaminate my mission." A real founder conflict. Now, how can that be resolved? So let's let's so a part of her was saying the mission is important. I need to build this. This is an important thing to deliver to people. This is a path for me to explore who I am, to make an impact. And the other part of me says, but wait, if I do this, if I get money to do this, then I'm going to have this problem and this problem and this problem with investors, and my mission would be compromised. So if you put those two things together, uh, the the reality is that there are complete opposites. The investors want to make money, and here's a mission that she thinks would not make money. But in reality, it would. If you're making money for people, if you're making people prosperous, maybe there is a different way. Maybe it's not money from individuals or VCs. Maybe it's grants. Maybe there are other ways of doing it. Maybe we have a paid forward structure. Maybe she can bring in people who are also see the mission in a similar way. And why is it wrong to be in a position to help people while making investors make a decent return? Why is it that those two things are in conflict? So if you put all of those whys and hows and what's put together, there is a solution. But at the point where was standing, and we had this in the discussions, we kind of explored this idea on the hot seat. There seems to be a clear duality in what she wants. And there is also, this duality is not just us. As I was explaining, our investors have the same duality. Guess what? Our partners would have the same duality. And our employees have similar duality. So when we ask them to do things and behave a certain way, guess what? They have the opposite forces in them. So it means that we should not be aware just of ourselves and our business. We should also be aware of the conflicts within our customers, the conflicts that exist within our employees. And if we can help resolve them, we have created a wonderful opportunity for all parties involved. Okay? So we're at time. Let's take a quick break, and we will get Soraya Join us at the hot seat right after.
Every other Friday, our members show up for the wake-up call. It's where fresh ideas spark, perspectives shift, and you walk away with something new to think about. And then we roll right into the hot seat, where real challenges get unpacked and real breakthroughs happen. But here's the secret: the wake-up call, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Once you step inside Anabasis Academy, you'll unlock your full dashboard, which is your gateway to everything the Academy offers, all in one place. It starts with the archives of every wake-up call and hot seat we've ever done. So if you miss a live session, or you want to relive that one insight that stuck with you, it's all right there, ready when you are. You'll also find our conversational collections, curated deep dives on powerful themes, weaving together different perspectives so you can explore them at your own pace. Then there's the expert circle, in-depth discussions with accomplished leaders and innovators, sharing the kind of hard-earned wisdom you won't find in a book or quick video. And of course, the public square, the heart of our community where ideas keep evolving even after the calls end, and where conversations often spark entirely new insights. You can even take all of this value with you on the go through downloading our mobile app. So the Academy is always at your fingertips. So if you've enjoyed what happens here live, just wait until you see the rest.